there is nothing like a good fruit bowl. So I just made that because I needed some energy. I've been working hard today out in the garden. I need something quick and easy to make. And fruit bowls, smoothies, smoothie bowls are like my go-to. All summer, I eat so much fruit. Anyway, today I'm gardening, and you guys had so many questions last year and showed a lot of interest in me setting up my garden boxes and gardening that I thought I would kind of bring you guys along. So it's a perfect time to show you guys what I do when I build a garden box, because I just built a new garden box at the back of the house. I noticed that we had some spot where we got a whole lot of sun. So I figured, why not take advantage of the space, put a garden box there, fill it with dirt, put some veggies in there, get some free food this summer, some more free food this summer, because we did really, really well last year. So I'll show you what survived from last year, what I'm planting this year, the dirt that I'm using, the soil, and how I'm getting it back there. That's actually like probably gonna be the best part of this video. So check out this footage, guys. Earlier today, Crystal and I went to get dirt. I might actually go to the compost soil mix, because I don't know, I think this is too like, this is like just, I don't think this is like soil.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look at the one next door.
Okay, the more you know. So this is a soil and compost mix, because we realized that the compost we were putting in was a little bit too rich.
But I had an idea, because I don't have a wheelbarrow, and I didn't really want to buy one because I very rarely need a wheelbarrow. I guess I could have borrowed one from somebody, but I saw a path and I said, hey, I can drive my RAV4 all the way through the backyard to the garden box, and then we can just unload the soil there. So I knew I could get the RAV partway in because I got it there last year to fill up the garden box, but this year I have to go around that garden box, around a corner, and then all the way back to the other side of the house. And it was quite the adventure, but I knew I could do it, and I did do it. There was a couple challenges along the way. I almost took out a corner.
Okay, stop. Just careful, you almost hit the lamp. Oh no, don't leave your tire like that.
I had to take my slack line down, which wasn't hard to take down, but I didn't think that I'd have to. I thought I would just scoot right around there. But yeah, anyways, it was quite the adventure. So pretty amazing that I was able to get my little SUV all the way through the backyard, all the way into that corner where it sits right now. Crystal had little faith, but I knew that I could do it. I know the parameters of that car so well. It's like an extra appendage now. So this is gonna be a pretty informal video. I just wanted to show you guys the process, and since I just made a new garden box in the back, I thought it would be a perfect time to do that. Oh yeah, and I thought I'd show you guys this table that I just built. I think that is pretty sweet. So I wanted like a really rugged work table, and we had this really sturdy pallet in the backyard here, just been sitting around. So I chopped it in half, and then I just made a quick little table out of it, and it's actually like so solid. It works really, really well, and it's been handy. I've already built a couple things on it. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's pretty awesome. Look at Coco over here. You like that box? You fit very, very well in that box, Coco. Okay, so here's the garden box we made last year. I'd been collecting all these pallets. Actually, that's the reason why I have that one over there. I've been collecting all these pallets because I wanted to make it out of pallet wood. And then once I started taking the pallets apart, I realized that the wood was really weak. So I went out and bought some of these 2x10s, and they're so sturdy. And it was so much easier to build. Like I just had to put, drill a few holes in the edge here, and then just put some screws, some long screws in there. And it's been really solid. The problem with growing stuff in this backyard is that we don't get a ton of sunlight. So I did find that spot there where that garden box is that gets about 6 to 7 hours of sunlight. And then the garden box that I just built gets even more sunlight, about 8 hours. But really they're the only two spots in the whole yard that get much sunlight, because the sun comes up over there, but then it's covered by these trees, and then it goes over top of the house and then sets over there. So a lot of this doesn't get any sun during the day, and not too much of it. You can see the truck back there. So let's check out the new garden box. So there's the new one. This one was actually the garden box that existed when we moved into this house. And it's kind of a funny place for it. It gets a little bit of sunlight, not the best. We grew peas here last year, and they kind of like wanted to creep around this wall and go that way. So I figured I'll put peas along the back of this one this year, and they'll grow up that way because you can see it's still getting sunlight. So these 2x10s are pretty inexpensive. You could use some scrap wood, but for the cost, I mean, they're only maybe $10 or so per board. So for 20 bucks, you have like a really, really solid, firm garden box. The soil that I'm using this year is a mix of organic compost, so just like fruit, vegetable matter compost, and then topsoil. Pretty nice soil. I think this is going to be really good this year. And then with that garden bed over there, I laid some like weed stop fabric down first before I put the soil on top. But I follow this guy. You guys, if you do gardening, definitely follow him. His name is M.I. Gardener, My Gardener. I think it stands for Michigan. But M.I. Gardener here on YouTube, and he has some amazing information, like everything you need to know about starting a garden at home. And he doesn't put anything underneath. He just puts the soil right on top of the grass. That's what I did here. And his reasoning is that it allows all like the worms and everything to come up. And the grass isn't just gonna keep growing like super, super high to bust through the soil. No, it's gonna die. As you guys know, if you put like, there's like a slip and slide, or you have like a tarp or some wood down for a long period of time on top of grass, it will kill the grass. Like underneath, it just starts to turn yellow and die away. So that's probably what's gonna happen under here, and then it'll compost and just, you know, create more nutrients. And you can see the poor Rav here just full of dirt still. So I just put a tarp down, and then I flipped the back seats up, made sure the tarps were secured on the side, and we just filled it up. And man, so it's been about 2 trips to get this full of dirt, and the cost of the dirt is probably around $40 that we have in here. So $40 for the dirt, $20 for the wood, and I already had the tools and the screws. So I mean, 50 bucks, and we've got this massive garden bed, and we're gonna be able to grow so many veggies this year, next year, the year after. So this is what's left over from last year. This thing grew like crazy. Let me show you how thick the stalk is on this thing. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Really nice tender greens too. Like some of the best greens I've ever had in my life. Super tender greens. These are actually some of the best greens I've ever had in my life. Like this, I don't know what this is, but I'm so sad that it's bolted. There's not much you can do about it. So what it means when a plant bolts, happens in the springtime if something's lived through the winter. It can happen for a whole lot of reasons actually. I was just reading about it. So what happens is that the plant just starts to shoot, and then it flowers, and then what happens is the seeds fall out. So you can see here one of its techniques in order to spread its seed was to go away from the plant, and then it'll drop the seeds there, and then a new plant will grow up. Probably not, because it's not going to be great to grow in that, but that's the idea. That's why it does this in nature. So it knows springtime's here, there's going to be lots of rain, great time for me to spread my wings, plant a few seeds. That's what that plant was thinking right now. So for the most part, once they bolt like this, there's not a lot you can do. You can start snipping it as soon as you start to see it happen, but it's just what the plant wants to do. It wants to grow crazy fast at that time. It puts all its energy into growing tall and then making flowers and then seeds. So there's not really a lot you can do. And then the sucky part is the leaves don't taste nearly as good once this has happened. They get to be a little bit more bitter. With lettuce, you can't even really eat it. There's just so much like latex. You know when you rip open a piece of lettuce and it starts oozing that like really bitter white sap? Well yeah, it gets so full of that once it bolts. But the cool thing about it is, see these, and I showed this in my last video, how these look so much like broccoli. So this is the flower of something from the brassica family, and that's what broccoli is. And if you eat this, it tastes like broccoli. It's crazy, like exactly the same as broccoli. So you can eat these, taste the leaves, see if you want to eat them still, you know, once it's bolted. But you pretty much just have to rip it out. And I really don't want to pull this one out because that stem is like so thick. Like I'm proud of it, but yeah, it's not much use to me anymore, so it'll probably have to come out. I'll show you guys what else I have to plant as well. So everything last year did really, really well. The plants grew so fast, there was so much, but the only problem is we just didn't eat enough of it. We kept buying veggies, and I don't know why, we were just in the habit of it. So this year, we're going to be eating everything from the garden. We're gonna make sure that we do. So this is a couple weeks ago now that I filmed this, and I just realized, like, I've already planted all that stuff in the garden. Why am I gonna bother editing a video showing you what I'm gonna plant when I've already planted it? I could just go out and show you right now. So let's go outside and I'll show you what I've planted. Alright, so sorry this video is a bit boring so far. Admittedly, I wasn't in the best headspace when I was making this video before, but I'm feeling a lot better now. And I wasn't gonna put the video out, but you guys asked for it in the comments. I did the exact same thing last year. I made a whole video about my garden, and then I was like, I don't think anyone's gonna care. I don't think anyone will want to see it, so I didn't end up putting it up. But this year, it's going up. Well, you guys are watching it, so. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but if you guys don't have a yard or a place to build a garden box like this, pots are a great idea. And even having all these garden beds, I still use pots because they're really convenient, and some plants really like growing in pots. So I really like to grow tomatoes and strawberries in pots. I'll hang the strawberries at the front of the house, and the tomatoes are nice because I can move them around with the sun if I need to. And all the varieties that I buy are all early to ripen varieties because we have a short growing season here in Canada, so it really helps. And then a lot of them are adapted to the wet climate as well. So here I've planted a bunch of lettuce. We've got some green lettuce, some romaine I think, and then some red lettuce as well. What kind is this here? Ooh, outrageous. Outrageous. Oh, that's funny. A little play on words there, I gotcha. So these I bought from the store as little babies and just planted them a couple days ago. I've left this little spot empty because I'm gonna plant something that flowers there to attract some bees and other insects to the yard. That's the parsley that I hacked away at. And then I've planted some cilantro here, so we'll have a little herb patch right there. And then here's some more lettuce, and these are just tiny little sprouts that we grew from seed. So this way it's staggered. These will be ready in, you know, maybe 3 weeks or so, maybe a bit more than that, maybe a month, and then these will be ready in maybe 2 months or so. There we have last year's Swiss chard, or the rainbow chard I should say, that's coming back, and it's looking really good. It'll come back for a couple seasons. And then we've got purple kale and green kale. But what's interesting about the purple kale is that the green caterpillars and worms don't seem to like it as much as the green kale, and I think it's because they're not as camouflaged, because they stick out like crazy on those, and then on the green ones you can hardly see them because they're the exact same color. And then we've got some more room back there to plant some more seeds. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put there yet. And then we'll head over to the other garden now and check that out. Come on, Cookie. Come on, Cookie. Follows me everywhere I go. So I haven't done anything with this garden yet. This will probably be all greens and herbs. I might plant some tomatoes at the back because they seem to do pretty well back there last year. But yeah, I just still have that collard greens that's gone to flower. But the bees seem to be really loving it, so I don't want to take away their food. Not yet, at least. So right at the very back, you can see that I've put up the mesh, the netting for the peas to climb. And we've got those all planted at the bottom there. And then in the corner here, I have some Hubbard squash. I thought that would be a good place for it because like they can kind of vine out there and maybe around the corner here, or maybe just chill over here. Not too sure how those are gonna go. I've never grown squash before. And then this is like cauliflower and broccoli. We've got some beets. These are just from last year, and I just decided to throw them in here to see if they'd grow any bigger this year. But they're so tiny. They're like miniature beets. Look, you can see it. That's a 1-year-old beet right there. So hopefully this year it does a little better. If not, we can always eat the greens. So I've got a bit of space in there. I can plant something if I need to. And then this is all empty still. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna put right here because this is the spot that gets like the most amount of sun. So I really wanna put something awesome there. Maybe like a really neat heirloom tomato. I'm not too sure yet. And then next door here, we have some peppers of different types. Yeah, these ones look really neat. Yeah, look at the shape of these peppers is really interesting. Look at that, lemon drop pepper. And then right at the very back there, I've just got some more tomato plants. I'm not too sure how they're gonna do all the way back there. I hope they're gonna do okay. It gets a lot of sun until about 7 o'clock and then they get none. So hopefully it's all right. Coco, he's probably gonna dig the whole thing up. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot about this one. Can you guys guess what it is? It's really sweet. Stevia. Man, it's weird. It tastes so much like stevia. It's really sweet, I don't love the taste of it. I don't think I'm ever gonna use it. I just thought it was pretty cool to grow. And that's actually one of the ways how I pick what I'm gonna grow in my garden is like stuff that I don't often see in stores or stuff that I've never tried before. A lot of those tomatoes that I'm growing right now, I've never tasted ever in my life, so it's gonna be a really cool experience to get to try those. But of course, it's nice to grow some of the tried and tested ones like the romaine lettuce, you know, that you know is gonna be really good and high yielding and all that sort of stuff. Ooh, I forgot I had these seeds sprouting. This is probably what's gonna go at the back there in that big square patch that's really sunny. These are kabocha squash. It's probably Crystal's all-time favorite food, and I really like it as well, so I'm excited to grow it. I don't know, I've never grown squash before, like I said. So this will probably go in that back garden where there's that big patch that gets lots of sun. So I think that's probably it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I know it wasn't the most exciting video, but the comments section asked for it. You guys asked for it. Give me the garden video, so here it is. So I'll make a couple updates as we go along this summer, harvesting it, taking care of like pests and bugs and that sort of thing, and then also fertilizing. If you guys have any questions about my garden or about gardening, definitely leave them in the comments section down below. Don't forget to check out my gardener, MI Gardener. He's great. Give you lots of good information. He's a way better gardener than I'll ever be, that's for sure. So I hope this video has inspired you. Go outside, plant something. Even if you just have a windowsill, get a pot, get some soil, plant some herbs. If you have a balcony or a front door or a walkway or whatever, just get something planted. It's actually so rewarding and it tastes so good. So thank you guys so much for watching the video all the way to the end. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely hit the like button for more garden videos. See you guys on the next one.